Hey moms, Convention of States Michigan is here for you. This is TimeOut with COS moms. So grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your cocktail. It's getting to be middle of the summer. Grab your lemonade. It's time for your timeout. I've got my lemonade. I did with my kids a fresh squeeze. We did real lemons, and then I made blueberry puree. It's blueberry lemonade. It's delicious. I don't know if I can go back to buying store-bought lemonade, but anyway, as moms, we go about our days. We schedule all of our stuff, right? All of our driving, our carpooling, our sports activities, dance class, athletics, play dates, grocery shopping, or in my case, grocery pickups, which I highly recommend if you haven't started doing that. Work, whatever it is we have to do, and other errands too. And the house has to be clean, the laundry has to be done, and the kids have to be fed. And somehow moms make their schedules work. Your process, your family's routine, it works for you, and you figure out ways to be able to maneuver in all of that because it has to, and because it works, because moms, or let me rephrase, it does work, and it works the way as well as it does because mom is at the helm directing traffic the whole time. The same idea is true for holding a national convention of the states, right? When we come together under Article 5 with all of our state legislatures, all of those delegates, all of those commissioners that are going to come together to actually hold a convention, the same idea, that same type of process is going to be at play then. We're going to be able to see that actually played out. So how do we know the convention process works? Why are we so confident? And that this is the answer, that this is what it is that we are looking for, and that we're going to be able to actually do this? Well, first and foremost, first thing that we know is that politicians aren't the answer. Okay, we've been experiencing that for decades at this point. The right politicians or a good president or voting for the right person, the correct person, isn't and cannot reign in Washington, D.C. The solution has to come from all of the people, from all of us, from all of the states coming together. We are the ones actually operating and living our lives outside the Washington, D.C. swamp, right? So therefore, we have to be the ones to actually drain that swamp. Secondly, we know that procedurally, the actual process of a convention will work because we're able to actually follow the rules, the regulations, the procedures of past interstate conventions. So actually throughout the course of American history, which we could actually get into at a future COS moms recording here for all of you, but there's actually a pretty significant history throughout the United States of America in our history of 40 some different interstate conventions, all being held for various reasons, of different states all coming together, different numbers of states all coming together for a variety of reasons. Your household runs on your family's rules, customs, routines. A convention has specific rules of order as well, customs, procedures of past conventions. The example of this daily democratic process that we all know about, just kind of intuitively, that you see, that you just kind of know instinctually is there, with the gavel and taking turns, and how the kind of order of things actually works, and walks itself out. Additionally, we know that a convention is going to work because of those same interstate conventions throughout our history. Those conventions used very specific, they came together for very specific purposes. They had very specific, very limited authority to accomplish a very specific task within their state's constitutions or their state legislatures, whatever reason it was that those different states were all coming together for different reasons. Those conventions actually did accomplish all of the ends that they were looking for. So logic follows that if we follow those same means, if we are following those same procedures, that we will also accomplish our ends as well. So in fact, you can actually watch a Convention of States simulation for yourself. Our national team, our National Convention of States Action Team, has actually hosted 2 different simulated conventions over the past few years. The first one was somewhere, I think it was 2016. The other one was actually just really recently, back this past fall of 2023. And you can actually watch highlights of those videos. The whole thing's, all of it's been recorded. So you'd be able to actually see and kind of see this process actually walked out on how the convention, how the voting works, how the negotiating works, how the committees work, all that good stuff. So you can actually go to just conventionofstates.com. And then right up in the top, right up at the top bar there, you'll be able to actually see those videos and actually see the simulations for yourself and watch the highlights. So we know that this problem is bigger, and we know that intuitively, that this problem is bigger than just bad or greedy politicians, okay? And our Convention of States project is really the only one that we know that can actually get into and actually address kind of these systematic misinterpretations and manipulations of our federal Constitution. So we have to use our Constitution, we have to use Article 5 to be able to preserve the rest of the Constitution. I mean, logic follows that that's what makes sense. That's going to be the process that works. Please remember, we are acting within our own limited authority within Article 5 to actually propose and then eventually ratify any amendments to the Constitution. So we're not actually rewriting the Constitution itself. We're not starting over, coming up with a different Constitution, trying to come up with a completely different document. We don't have the authority to do that. We haven't been given that authority, and that's not what Article 5 is all about in the first place. Our framers, our founders who actually wrote out the Constitution wanted us to have this specific tool, wanted us to have Article 5, wanted us and expected us to be able to use it for such a time as this. So we know this process works because it's action that is taken by we the people, action taken within our constitutional means to accomplish a very constitutional end. So as you go about your day and as you trust your own process, as you maybe start to kind of notice a little bit more the routine and the process by which your own family works, just know that now you can trust this process. You can trust the convention process too. So now you know, moms, make sure your kids know too. So if you have any questions, if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. Once again, my name is Kelly Olford. I'm a district captain for our Convention of States Michigan team. Feel free to reach out at askmi@cosaction.com. Where's my... askmi@cosaction.com, written right there for you in writing so you don't have to try and remember it. If you have any questions, if you want to get more involved, feel free to reach out to me. askmi@cosaction.com, and we will see you guys all again in a couple weeks.